Okay, so it's been a minute. Just 1 minute, it's fine. I turned 19 on December 15th, 2023. It is now January 2024, so I wanted to just kind of come on here and detail some of the lessons that I have learned throughout the year of me being 18 and now being 19. So yeah, let's just get into it. 8 things I learnt at 18. Let's start with the first lesson. Your big dreams, like the things you long for, are not that far removed from yourself. When I got the opportunity to go to New York, in my brain it was something completely out there. I'm nowhere near New York. I'm nowhere near the USA. Money-wise, it's completely out there, and maybe in my head at the time it was impossible. Turns out it's not. And even now in university for music, I am finally kind of understanding that all the artists that I aspire to be, especially smaller ones but up and coming, like Arlo Parks, these artists are not that far removed from myself in terms of where they are in their journey. It kind of relaxed me a little bit. It was like, oh, I can do that because all of these other people have done it. Stop thinking that you are like miles behind the crowd, because you're definitely not. You are probably in just the right place. Lesson number 2, I am worthy because I said so. This is something that I still struggle with. I still struggle with the concept of self-worth and self-esteem. Something about me coming into the consciousness again and realizing I dictate my self-worth. I dictate how worthy I am of something. It was like an eye-opener again. With this, I think the most important thing here is to expect the world. Like, expect more for yourself. And I know people, well, in my eyes, it's like if I expect more for myself, then I will get disappointed. And absolutely, I think that, being disappointed is like one of the most poignant feelings ever. At the same time, we need to understand that even if we do not get something, you also have a say in that. Like, you also have a say in how that affects your worth, right? So I didn't get this thing, but my worth is still the same because I said so. So when you are giving yourself away, whether it be in an audition or a performance, or maybe even just writing an essay or something, and you may or may not get critique or feedback from that isn't what you wanted, you may hate yourself a little bit. I know I do. Completely normal. Work on it. If you're anything like me and you sign up for things, you try to do things, the moment you even read the opportunity, you have already torn yourself down before you've even signed up. And when you do sign up, you're still doing it. You still think you're not worth it. Change that. Instead of, you don't have to be like, oh, I'm totally gonna get it. You don't have to be like that. But try to see yourself as a neutral rather than a negative, which kind of leads me on to my third piece of advice. Rejection sensitivity is a bitch. Listen, I have really bad rejection sensitivity. I'm working on it though. I am working on it. This is when you do a task, okay? Let's say I am lighting this candle. This is a task that I do, right? Let's say somebody over here said, oh no, don't do that just yet, I'm doing something. Don't do that just yet, please, I'm doing something. I go, oh, sorry. And then I internalize what that person just said, even though it had nothing to do with me and everything to do with this. You see, it's essentially taking things personally when it's not personal. You might feel inadequate because you're thinking, oh, I shouldn't have done this, because you're thinking I should have just intuitively known that they were going to say that. you could be helping your friend tidy their room, and your friend says, oh no, that doesn't actually go there, that goes over here. You say, oh sorry, that was stupid of me. Your replying in a way implies that you should have known better. The task is not you, you are doing the task, basically. Separate yourself from what you do, and don't think that it is anything to do with your personality or how you come across, because that's not the case. It is just something that I have found really stops me from continuing with the task without breaking down crying because I've been corrected on something, or because I feel like I should have known. Number 4, I am a person too. For the longest time, I saw myself as this. I don't know, I see myself as, like, I don't want to say a robot, but if I'm being real, a robot. 2023 was the year I kind of started to feel like a human, especially after, like, New York. New York changed me mentally, okay? Changed my brain waves, okay? Realizing that I'm a person meant that I kind of had a lot of these epiphanies at once. These things like, oh, I've not really let myself think about this, or oh, I've not really let myself feel about this. I think about things, but I never experience things. I think about things from afar, but I do not experience them up close. I feel like New York was just full of experiences and not much thinking, and that's what made it so freeing. It's strange. I felt like an animal. I felt like a little fox in the forest. You know what I mean? I felt like I was just experiencing what was around me and living in the present moment, as they say, instead of thinking about the present moment. And it's really difficult to turn off that, like, logical and analytical side of your brain, because that's how I am. But there was something about it that kind of reminded me of a home that I've not really experienced to the fullest. And it was nice. It was nice. It's nice to know that you're a person. It's nice to know that you actually exist and it's not fake. 5. Fifth thing I learnt was the world is wide enough for your duality. What do I mean by this? I mean that we are allowed to contradict, we are allowed to change. For crying out loud, we're allowed to change. We are allowed to be hypocrites in the same way that we are allowed to be truthful and vulnerable. We are also allowed to be liars and standoffish. The duality of you is okay, basically. It's not something to be, you know, ashamed about, or like, no, I'm not a liar, because let's be real, everybody is. And the sooner you get off the, like, I guess, slight superiority complex that you think that you're better than everybody because you don't embrace your duality, the better. Because the thing is, you can't be one thing. You're limiting yourself and you're limiting your expression. I'm sick and tired of everyone acting like they can't contradict themselves, or acting like they can't be hypocrites. Everyone's like, oh, you're such a hypocrite. You are too. Like, come on. Oh, you're so apathetic, but I can be that. I can be empathetic and I can also be apathetic. I am allowed to be two things at once. That's just me. Number 6. I wrote something down specifically for this one. We are our own planets / planes of existence, and we need other planets to gravitate to so we can make a universe. This is in regards to a support system, basically. Everyone knows it, you know it, I know it. We need people. Humans are pack animals. We need a pack. We need a group of people. Even if you are kind of like me and you prefer to be on your own, like, ugh, people, you know, you don't really like to socialize too much because it drains you, and sometimes it just isn't fun. You too need people. Yeah. Number 7. That was not cool. Number 7. Embarrassment and cringe are not real. Yep. You've been lied to. The truth of the matter is, embarrassment keeps us from a lot of things, but embarrassment really only happens when you have done something human. You've done something that expresses yourself and you feel uncomfortable because you are being perceived. That's what that is about. If you're interacting with somebody and you do something that is cringe, don't be the first one to be embarrassed, because if you are embarrassed, it gives them permission to be embarrassed for you and to cringe. The sooner you get used to your own body and your own way of walking and living, the sooner you will realize that actually nothing you do is embarrassing, because it is just you. That is just it. Nothing you do is cringe unless you are a bigot. Cringe isn't real until it's bigotry. So, number 8, and the final lesson. This one was a really tough lesson to learn for me, and when I first heard it, I was very kind of like taken aback by it. I had to process it for like a day or two. So, like, if it doesn't resonate immediately, don't be shocked, because it didn't with me either. Nobody is inherently special. Nobody is inherently special. Nobody that you perceive or think is special, or better than, or greater than, or prettier, or smarter. Nobody is inherently any of those things. Want to know why? Because you have put them in that position. The energy and conscious/subconscious thought power that you put onto that person is the only thing that is keeping them in that position, really. Without that acknowledgement, they are just a person, and so are you. Going back to my 4th lesson, you are a person too. Crazy how that links, huh? That person who is better than you, or you perceive to be better than you, is also a person, and you are a person. So really, you are the same level. They might see you as the same thing. They might see you as better than, or cooler than, or, you know, prettier than, special than, smarter than, and you don't even know it. It's a real kerfuffle. Teachers, parents, the only reason you perceive them as better than, like, I mean, you're gonna say, but that's my mum, but that's a teacher, and they have, like, in the system, they are, well, remove the titles here. They're just people. These are just people. These are just people that you have acknowledged have the title of this, so they have to be better than. They have to be smarter than. And when it comes to teachers, obviously qualifications, maybe, but not always, not all the time. I've met some pretty dumb teachers, okay? We are all just people. Maybe we're all just people, and we are just swimming through life. Those are my lessons. I hope the lighting didn't change too much in this video, because it is sunset. If you are my age, 18, 19, even if you're 15, or even if you're, I don't know, 30, please give yourself room to be. Give yourself room to just exist. Because for the longest time, and still now, I close myself in for just existing. And I think I'm taking up too much space. You aren't taking up too much space. Sometimes you've got to step yourself up a bit and realize that you, too, are a person. With that being said, remember to drink water. Toodles!